Good morning. Now you join me on this very cold and frosty morning. It's a bit chilly out here, but I thought I'd take this opportunity. Let's have a closer look at the cold steel Bushman knife. Now these have been out a long time. There's quite a few videos on YouTube of them. Some pro, some very much against. Let me give you my personal thoughts on it. Not a review as such, but just my impressions and where I think some of the videos are a bit unfair. Right, let's start off with the sheath. Hard plastic one. Not really a fan of them, but if it does the job, so be it. First thing that's very noticeable, even though it's got quite a good retention system, it's not falling out, but it is noisy. That, if I had it on my belt and was, shall we say, walking a length sometime, that would bloody annoy me. But to be fair, I'm not someone that normally wears a knife on my belt, not unless it's a small convenient size one. Something like this I would tend to keep in my pack and just get it out when I need to use it for a job and then put it away. So that's not the end of the world, but I can see that getting annoying. Now it has got a retention system here, which is basically like a couple of clips built into the plastic. It will not come out. It's in there. It's very secure. I'll give them that. It's not the easiest to get out. Basically, you need to like flex it to move the pins away from the edge of the knife. It works. You could certainly come up with a more elegant solution, but it works. They have thought to stick a drain hole in the end if you're out in the wet, so it won't fill up with water, and they do give you a little fire steel, but I'll come back to that in a minute. All in all, the plastic sheath, not really a fan. It does the job. It could be better. Right, let's have a look at the knife itself. It's a reasonable size. Overall it's about a foot, 30 centimetres in length. Blade looks 7.5 inches, something like that. It does state on the website what steel it is, but let's face it, it's a mass-produced item from China. They can put any old blurb on the website, can't they? Or stamp anything in the blade. Who knows what steel? What I will say is, I'll give the edge a little bit of a polish. It takes a good edge. It is sharp. How long that will last, I'm not too sure, but it's fairly hard, so I think it will last, the edge on it. Of course, the outstanding feature that you notice on this straight away is the handle. The fact that this is just one piece of steel. It's just a blank piece of bar and they've rolled the end together. A bit like the fitting that you'd see on an old-fashioned garden hoe or something like that. So you've got this hollow. Okay. Now, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, this round pipe's going to be awful. But to be fair, it feels okay in the hand. It's not a bad thickness. I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but it's okay. It's not bad. My concerns would be this painted finish. Not only a lot of the weather today, I'm only just above freezing. That's going to be very cold to use with bare hands. And also, if it's wet, that'd be very slippery. Not ideal when you've got a knife that hasn't got a finger guard. So I think the answer would be wrap it with some tape of some description. I thought about this the other night, and maybe some of that tape that you can get for wrapping the handles on tennis rackets or squash rackets, because it's sticky one side, you put it on, it'll stay in place, slightly padded, would give you a better grip. Although the way it's formed, the blade is slightly offset to the centre of the handle. Not badly. I don't think it would be an issue, you know, indexing. Yeah, I'm in two minds about that, to be perfectly honest. And of course, the reasons partly for doing this, partly probably because it was cheaper, but of course you can fit a stick, a long pole or whatever in the end, and there's videos of it being used as a spear. Now, do we need a spear? No, not really, but I will have a go at that in a minute, and we'll see how that works out. All in all, again, not particularly elegant, but it does work. Seeing as you've got a fire still with it, you could always plug up either end and keep some tinder inside. So you've got like your own fire lighting kit with you within the knife. That might be something I'll do in the future. So yeah, not too heavy. It's not a bad weight at all actually for its size. Thickness, I'd say I'm looking at probably 2.5 mil, something like that. So you would be able to batten with it and that sort of thing. And of course, with it all being made in one piece, you haven't got the weak spot here where a handle's going to break off. It's like a full tang knife really, just without the scales. So it should be strong enough, depending what steel it's made of course. The sheath, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this or not, but there's basically 2 notches there, and that's what holds it in place. It works. Retention wise, it works very well. It goes in there tight, you can't pull it out. But the rattling would annoy me a little bit. Right, let's go and find some wood. Right, I've just cut a piece here, about, I don't know, 4.5 foot long, something like that. And of course, it's just a simple procedure, sticking that on there. Ideally, yes, a little bit thicker, but it would mean you know, cutting down the end, making it a nice snug fit. But as I'm not particularly a fan of this, I'm not going to put in that much effort. It does have a little hole here where you could pin it in place to keep it on if you wanted to. But as soon as I saw this, my initial thoughts was, what are you going to do with this spear? We're not in the Serengeti. We're not going to be hunting game with it. Certainly there's nothing in the UK that you could hunt this with, in as much as I suppose the only thing that would be worth trying to hunt with it would be something like a deer maybe. But if you can throw this and successfully take down a deer at that sort of range, because you never get close to them, you're better than me. Now, when I was at school, I was into athletics and I was very good at the javelin, and I wouldn't be confident to do it. So I think most people probably wouldn't be good enough. The other thing, which is, I suppose, better in a way, is because you've now got a long stick attached, you have got a long range defence weapon if you're being attacked by something. But again, in the UK, it's just not going to happen, is it? But I thought I'd try it out anyway. I might even give it a throw just to see what it's like, and of course see if it's strong enough to put up with the impact. Let's have a go. So there's the answer. Yes, you can throw it, and it is strong enough. But yeah, what sort of range realistically? Went in up to about there. So yes, it works. Yes, it's strong enough. the next issue. This being tapered, only threw it into the tree once, not particularly hard. The sticker's rammed itself in there. It don't come out. I would have to find a smaller stick now and knock it down through there to try and get the bugger back off. Not really the best of ideas, is it? All in all, not a bad idea, but I think they've tried to make it do too many things without doing any one thing well. As a camp knife, yeah, it'll do the job. You could batten with it, you could feather stick with it, you could light a fire with it. Although, one thing that I have missed out is the spine is quite rounded. It needed a 90-degree spine for the fire steel, but that's something you can obviously modify yourself. All in all, not a bad effort. It's interesting. At least they've tried to do something different, which I do like. I do like it when companies sort of think outside of the box a little bit. And of course the ultimate sort of crux, it's about 20 quid. It's not like you're spending a fortune on it. It was never going to be perfect. But I think it's a fun little thing, and I'll use it over the next few months. See how we get on with it. Might do some modifications. Thanks for watching.